Hey folks, Jonathan again. Back playing with the bike some. Did get yesterday. Got my motor mounts made. I actually used plate, and I don't know if you can see them good, but they're bent. I put them in the brake and I had to bend them and bring them out some. Didn't want to run spacers because it wouldn't look as good, but the front and back's done. Bolted in both sides. And I did get the flywheel done. Somebody had asked about this, whether this was internal or external balance. It's internal balance. The piston that was on this particular engine, weight-wise, was the same basically as the piston that was originally on this crank. So I didn't do really much on it. I am going to balance my next one, and because the piston's heavier, and I'll show everybody how to balance one. But so this was just flywheel for weight, because we don't have real good counterweights on this crankshaft because it's a two-stroke crank, and a two-stroke crank is only made to, it fires on every rotation, so it only has to hit compression. Four-stroke has to roll twice, so you've got to get your intake stroke, your exhaust stroke, and get your compression stroke, and you need the extra weight to help get it through that, and that's what that's for. And high RPMs don't really matter as much, but low RPMs, for idle and stuff. So that's why we left the weight. Now I did turn it down a little bit, not much. Refaced it, just to clean it up. And what I ended up doing, I actually sweat fit this sprocket on about like you would a ring gear on a flywheel. Now I may still tack it. I know a couple people had said, well, don't weld it, but there's really no good way of attaching it, first, and second, you're not going to get it off the shelf that fits it. So it would, it'd be nothing to take this off, cut the weld off, slide it off, put another one on. So I mean, it's not a big deal. Sometimes you can build stuff that if you got a torch and a welder, that you take back apart quicker than what it could if you started taking bolts out. But so that's done. It's lined up. Transmission's mounted. I haven't got it all welded in, but it is mounted. And we got our Mr. T chain here. And when I ordered these, I couldn't find any chrome or nickel plated chain, and that's what I wanted. So I said, well, there's gold, and I used to have some gold chain, but I believe it was black in the center and then just gold links, and the links wasn't shiny wannabe gold. It was more of a copper gold look, and this is not what I thought it was. So chains are cheap though, so we can change it later, and it's not a big deal. I just needed something to get it built and get it straight. So everything works good. The only thing I did notice that I didn't even think about, transmission's got to be, of course, in neutral, so you're not pushing the back wheel, but clutch has got to be out for the kickstart to work. The way that it works through it, you got to have the clutch released. So if you pull the clutch in, it won't. It'll just slip. It won't start. So definitely got to be in neutral to be able to start it. So I think that's the main thing I worked on: mounts and this, and we've got it pretty good. I mean, I really like it. I think it's going to work out really well. So now we're going to make spacers for the back wheel. Go ahead and get it where it needs to be in the center, and then we're going to make an adapter to adapt from this 5-bolt, which is, I guess, sort of universal Harley, to this 6-bolt, which is Suzuki. And the reason I'm having to do this, the reason I can't, even though this is a front wheel, the reason I can't get a sprocket that would even fit that 5-bolt, because the 5-bolt's pretty much universal on these things, is the fact that Harley ran a 530 chain and we're running a 428 chain. So a little bit different size. So not a big issue there. Just like I said, we'll make the sleeves like I did on the front, as you can probably see. I did figure out, let me grab the other shock. Okay, I did figure out that these shocks, these red ones, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, smaller diameter. so they're actually softer, and I think that's going to do what we need. And you know, we still got a full adjustment from here, you know, all the way up, so we'll get them changed out. Probably still paint them later. And let me see, I think that's about it where we're at right now. And a couple things I want to say. Also, evidently a lot of people watching this haven't seen the engine build, and the engine is 280 cc's, mixed match of parts and stuff that I just put together. And you know, if you want to watch the engine build, it's on YouTube. It's actually from start to finish, including building the smelter to melt the aluminum, to pour the casting for the block. Everything was done. And I'll grab here's the engine case in wood. A lot of you might remember that. I never did paint that one, believe it or not, but it's held up good. I mean, it still would cast pine. These are just made out of pine, which, you know, is not the suggested material, but it's what I used. But this, of course, is this side, and that's the other side, and then that's the cover right here that goes over the cams. So, like I said, if no one's seen it, I designed it out on paper, then I made it out of wood, and then of course we sand casted it and then machined it and just, you know, threw it together. So anyway, you know, I'm not planning on the bike having, you know, a bunch of power. We're not racing it. We're not, you know, I'm just building it. It's one of them deals. Somebody asked again about tags and insurance. It would be no problem or tags and title, I guess, registration, but it'd be no problem to do. The fact that I built the entire bike, and I've got proof of that by pictures, videos, receipts for every piece and part I bought. I could actually go file for be a custom title. I mean, it'd be a 2018, but whether I do it or not, I don't know. I may do it, not really to worry about riding it, putting tags on it, anything like that. I would do it more to increase the value of it, and increasing the value of it, not for me because I don't care to sell it, but one of these days I'm going to kill over, and you know, I explained to my wife that what auction company to call if she wants to just roll everything, and you know, things like this is nice to have, to be able to you know, for her when I'm gone, because I'm sure I'll be gone long before she goes, and it goes that way. So anyway, we're going to go back to working on this, try to get this rear end straight, and then we'll try to get a sprocket adapted. It'd be nice if today, for today's goal, to get the rear hooked up, get the chain on, and you know, the wheel straight, and then we can work from there. So I'm hoping I'm going to clear okay on the sprocket on the back. I may end up having to make a roller or a guide or an idler, whatever you want to call it, for the bottom of the chain. Now, when the engine's turning, when the transmission's turning, the top of the chain is actually where you're getting your pressure. The bottom's going to be your slack side, so it's not a big deal to put an idler on the bottom. May have to clear that bottom arm on the frame, but we're going to try to clear it without it. And you know, hopefully later on we don't have any problems with the chain bouncing and hitting it. You know, so maybe better off doing an idler either way. But if so, you know, we'll build it. And just so you can see, I really am building this out of trash. This is my spacers for the front. You can see, looks like trash to me. Well, I got the spacers made, so I got to go do a toe now. So I think we will start on the adapter for the sprocket as soon as I can get alignment right for the sprocket and the chain, and figure out how thick we need our spacer and our adapter. I wish it was just a spacer, but it's not. And I may stop by Junior's while I'm out. I want to look how the disc brakes mount on the back, because I have no clue. But we'll probably get a disc on the way and go ahead and try to get it set up for disc brake on this side. Oh, and just so you know, I know disc brakes is not right for a board track racer, but drum brake or band brake wouldn't either, because real board track racers didn't have any brakes at all. Okay, it's a bunch of hours later, and it's already getting late, getting dark. So, you know, wrecker life, I tell you what. So what I've decided, because of where this chain is going to be, it's going to be pretty close to the hub. I think what we're going to do is make an adapter just a sleeve that'll go in this center hole, or OD, and that ID, and put this sprocket centered and drill it, and just put there's 5 holes in that one. We're going to put 6 holes in it. Hopefully we can turn it where we can miss them all, and we'll just rethread it and bolt it on directly, and then if we needed to bring it out some, I'll just make a bushing and bush it out. So I think that's going to work out a little better. And then or not a bushing, I'll make a spacer, sorry. So I think that'll work out alright, so we'll do that. My goal tonight was to get the sprocket on and to get the secondary chain on, but it's not looking too good, so we'll keep trying. We'll see what happens here. Alright, okay, so now we've got to find a piece of round stock that's bigger than that, and that might be a problem. See what I've got. Oh, I might have a piece. My scrap steel pile. That won't work. I think this is a piece I made the neck out of. That's big enough. Maybe. No, it ain't big enough. It's close. No cigar. Now we could make it out of this, but let me see. Let's cast. I don't think it matters as long as we can get something. Yeah. We could turn a ring out of that. That's what's left of a pulley. We'll see what else I got here. Really like to get something longer so I'd have room to chuck it, you know. Nothing that's round is safe right now. Don't have much luck here. Find something. Okay, we've got oh, let's get it off there. Made my bushing a little tight, but alright, we got it on, and our new sprocket fits up to it. I haven't checked the hose yet. I should have checked them, I guess, to see if we're going to be able to clear everything. Ended up making that out of the other one, and this is steel. I thought it was cast, but it's not. But yeah, I whittled all that away basically, and that's what I had left. So it took a little time, but I couldn't find anything that was right because this hole was about 8 thousandths over 2.5 inches, so everything I was coming up with was 2.5 inches or smaller. And so anyway, that's what we used, and we got it. That's all that matters. It's on there really good and tight, pressed over real well. And then this, of course, I made this a little, not really slip fit, but it's close to it. And then let me see. It don't look like we can clear all the holes, unfortunately. And it don't help we got paper over one hole. Yeah, I don't see us clearing all the holes. I don't think one of them, I might need to check. It looks like one of them might line up. If we can get one in there, maybe we can work with the other ones. But anyway, we'll try to get this cleaned up and get, like I said, this is a new old stock for an old Suzuki, and we're going to try to get it cleaned up and get these holes drilled and tapped and on there, and then hopefully we can hang the chain on it and just see what we're going to have to do for clearance on the back of the frame. So alright, let me get at it. Okay, so after doing some measuring and some playing, I thought about cutting into here, and then I got to figuring out that this sprocket's got to come out of almost about the thickness of what this spacer is right here, and that's one of the reasons I've done that. So we're going to space behind it. Now I didn't drill it and tap it yet. I did put the one bolt in it that matched up, but I wanted to see what we was getting into here. But building a spacer for that's not an issue at all. You know, it's just flat plate. So anyway, I think I've decided I'm going to put a idler up here, and not sure what kind of idler I'm going to go with yet, but I think it's going to be better off. We're going to keep us from taking a chance on it. We'll just come back a ways and then put the idler, and this has got to be narrowed up anyway. I don't want to really narrow it up like I've got it drawn out here, but it's got to narrow up back here. So Anyway, that's where we're at, and I think we're gonna call it a night. It's getting late and I'm tired, so anyway, so we'll get back on this thing. Appreciate everybody watching, and till next time, bye.